joke, it makes me feel good. It doesn't. It is painful every single time. Sort of like the pain you must have felt while I was away. Turns out I was a ghost this whole time. And some quippy jackholes put me in a containment unit. But now, I'm out on parole under one condition. I review their new movie, Ghostbusters Afterlife. And strap on, because I have a lot of opinions about a franchise I'm not too passionate about. Ghostbusters Afterlife is the 2001 reboot, soft reboot, sequel, passing of the torch movie to Ghostbusters 1 and 2, which should have been renamed somewhere between its second and 80th delay to Ghostbusters After COVID Life. A product of when, at the very least, the heart is in the right place. Is that enough? Is the Stay Puft motherfucker small enough to fit up my ass before I throw it on a graham cracker, feed it to Trash Johnson, and call it a s'more? Well, let's work our way up these 35 flights of fuck, starting with the new. McKenna Grace plays a young version of every female main character from the last 4 years. Also, Phoebe Spengler is, well, great. Her arc of self-acceptance after seeing what her intelligence can accomplish is told in a way where she isn't cold or condescending. Phoebes recognizes Egon's shortcomings and cares about the people that are in her life, from her friends to her family. A key major difference, which is why it's a great indication of why these characters are similar. They're not just piss-filled ecto-cooler regurgitations of the originals. Piss-filled ecto-cooler. It's refreshing. And come closer. I've got a secret to tell you. A shining example of why women being Ghostbusters wasn't ever the problem. Finn Wolfhard is also there, all 8 feet of him. Podcast and Lucky round out the team, but are a little underdeveloped outside of their respective friendship with the Spenglers. Proxima Mama Midnight has a whole ass story that we barely touch on. She's just kind of mad at him. Probably because he's had her since before the original movie, which nobody bothered to fucking mention. What a terrible retcon! Paul Rudd is there to play Cujo, because Terror Dog, Vince Cortho, and make a child stripper joke. Wait, what the fuck? And now, the suspiciously louder audio influxed nostalgia. I'm too afraid of all of these ghosts! Oh, those aren't ghosts! Those are the Ghostbusters! How the fuck are the Ghostbusters the most out of place and arguably the worst part about a movie called Ghostbusters? Like, they weren't bad. Their characters were entirely on point, and the minute they showed up, it was like their dynamic never lost a step, but it didn't fit. Outside Exposition Minute with Ray, the comedic stylings of 1980s Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd completely clashed with the tone of the movie. It felt like tonal whiplash, and the only lashing I like is across my we all knew Egon was gonna have to appear. And I'm sure his family was fine with his portrayal, and they didn't do anything distasteful. I still felt uncomfortable when this entirely CGI mute showed up and stared at everybody. Granted, even if Harold Ramis was still alive, would they have had a heavy dialogue scene about him reconnecting with his daughter? Ghost Egon and Phoebes living together, playing chess, mass hysteria! Okay, let's look at the rest of the movie. Oh, fuck. We're doing Gozer again. Bisecting Shandor should have been a great metaphor for let's move past these beats. How did they fucking miss that? So the sequel Ernie Hudson only showed up the monologue for is gonna be about Vigo terrorizing the suburbs. Vigo, the cul-de-sacian. Also, where are the ghosts? Most of this movie is spent getting to the proton pack, which, I'm sorry, should have fucking rocketed the kid into something when the grown-ass men had trouble handling it, and then we get one real ghost-busting scene with dickless Josh Gad over here, until the thankfully toned-down climax. Ghostbusters Afterlife. Is it worth it? Here's the thing. I don't think it's gonna generate some resurgence in the love for Ghostbusters. But if we're being fair, the entire franchise has been coasting off of the strength of the original. While the kids are likable and not ghoulishly soulless caricatures, it takes more than kids in a movie to make kids like a movie. Or I don't know, maybe kids do love it. How many kids were in the original Ghostbusters? Where this movie works is in its warmth, or at least it feels that way. Every reboot, sequel to any movie is a cash grab. Sorry. And while this movie leaned heavily into nostalgic reverence, it mostly fit within the context of the movie, Twinkies aside. But wouldn't you take that over contempt for the source material and the audience you're trying to cash in on? Clearly there was care put into the script this time around. Sadly, Afterlife isn't as funny, as clever, or as subtle as the original. And Ghost Corpse ain't taken off. Stop trying to make Ghost Corpse happen. But for fans of the franchise, blast me in the nipples with a proton pack! This is what you've been waiting for. Or it's as good as you're gonna get. But whatever. Fuck Ghostbusters. Part 2 is the best one anyway.